Hello everybody. It's been a while since I've been on here live. It's been a couple of weeks. I know, Joe, if you're watching this, I'm fixing my hair. I know. I'm gonna bust my chops. Gotta get it right. All right. See, there's always something weird. Okay. So I hope everybody's having a good week, staying cool. I love this friggin' weather. If you know me, I'm like digging it. I just wish I could be in it, working and all that.
We have 1:30, okay?
Okay, thank you. Got 1:30. Getting ready to go. I was on vacation. And today I'm channeling Britney circa 1990. I could sing Oops, I Did It Again any minute, but I think we'll just do the show. So, hope everybody's good. And I'm going to get this party started.
60 seconds.
Okay, thank you. 60 seconds. We're ready to roll.
Thirty seconds.
Okay, thank you. Hi, Rich. I see you on there, and Mike McCarthy. Oh, let it snow. I'm gonna get you, Rich, man. Wait. Here we go. Hello everyone, hope you had a great week. We made it to Friday. We are also already in August.
Your mic, your microphone.
Oh my gosh, sorry, we had a little bit of a flub here today. Oh my god. Anyway, let's do a do-over here. Hope everybody is doing well. Apparently I'm not doing so well because I didn't have my mic ready. But we made it to Friday, like I said, and we are also already in the month of August. So what happened to July? Thank you for tuning in today and spending some time with me, even though I'm a bit of a mess today. You are listening to The Financial Chick Show, and I am The Financial Chick. My name is Denise Nostrom, the CEO and owner of Diversified Financial Solutions, a full-service independent financial planning firm located in Medford. Your Financial Chick is here to help you make better financial decisions and choices to improve your life and reduce your anxiety and stress about money. If you want to know more about me or my firm, you can check out my website at financialchickshow.com. We are also on Facebook and Instagram at Diversified Financial Solutions. So like our pages to get updates and see what is happening. So it is nice to be back live with all of you today. I was actually on vacation, so I guess I'm a little rusty. I just had to, Anthony and David yell at me because started the show without having my mic on, which I don't think I've ever done, man. And like it's going to be in a couple weeks, 2 years that I'm on the air, which is like absolutely unbelievable. Can't believe how quick that went. But yes, we did go on vacation. It has been, if you've been listening to the show, you know that we had an interesting surprise happen last year. My husband met his older brother for the first time ever. With this, we gained not only a brother, but a sister-in-law, 2 nieces, and a nephew. So this actually happened May of last year in 2021. So believe it or not, it's only the 3rd time that we actually saw them in person. But it feels like we've known them forever. It's been like a long time. We spent the week on Fire Island at a beach house in Robin's Rest, which is in between Ocean Beach and Atlantique. Great place, but it's just a bit challenging to get to since it's nestled in the federal seashore wilderness and only has about 40 houses there. So it's a nice little find. It's quiet, and the beach is very lightly populated, but there are no boardwalks or paved sidewalks to get there. So what you're doing is when you come to a 1-week stay with all of your luggage and probably some food and drinks, etc., you need to schlep all that stuff on sand for about 10-15 minutes of walking on sand, and not beach sand. This is more like fluffy sand. So it was really quite a bit. I will let you know that first day I clocked in over 15,000 steps, having to go back and forth to get all of our stuff, and so we did a lot of walking, but it was really a nice time spent with family. What was even better, there was no TV. So for a week, I was able to truly shut down, not only from work, but from everything. Now, of course, we have our cell phones, so I knew stuff that was going on, but the overall mundane day-to-day stuff, I really got away from it all. So I got away from the noise, and it felt really good. But I did know that the stock market actually had its best week the last week of July, which was actually the week that we were away. That always makes for a better vacation, because usually when I take a day off or a week or a vacation, whatever the case would be, the market will typically be down a lot. So it does make it a bit easier when I'm away, and it makes it easier when I come back too. So that's a good thing. So just a quick fun fact about July's performance. The S&P gained 9.2% total return in July of 2022, but remains down for the year 12.6%. So that July performance was the best stock market monthly result since November of 2020. And you remember, we had the pandemic start in March. That's when everything kind of fell out. And we actually got back from that, quote, bear market March, and then November is when we got back to business, so to speak, and started going up from there. So now, of course, though, I did get some updates, on what's been happening, and I've been doing some reading because I love information. I'm always kind of doing stuff and figuring things out. I realized that Biden had COVID several times the past few weeks, keeps testing positive, while being fully vaccinated and boosted many times, I think, at this point. So it's crazy because, we are hearing a lot of instances of COVID all around. I mean, locally, people, friends, and everything like that. I guess the good news is that, the severity of the COVID strain is not as bad. So that's a good thing. But it is still quite apparent and still there, along with monkeypox and everything like that. But the Biden situation is just amazing and quite interesting, I think, to me. We're just wondering if he's hiding or possibly hiding something. So I don't know. Because then a couple days later, we then hear that on July 31st that the Al-Qaeda chief Ayman al-Zawahiri was killed in a drone strike in Afghanistan. Now, again, just thinking, again, when you're away, when you're on vacation, you have a lot of time to think, the noise is not there, and you kind of get into your mind and everything. I'm just wondering, was it an attempt to have us focus on how terribly, or have us forget, I should say, how terribly he withdrew the troops in Afghanistan when he first got into office, or how they put all the U.S. weapons in the hands of our enemies? So then, after that, we hear about the trip that Pelosi took to Taiwan. This obviously drew a lot of attention and was perceived as highly controversial. China, of course, now is puffing its feathers and feeling pretty emboldened about things. And, they were quiet for a while, but it seems like, I don't know if this was the best idea that they had, but and honestly, I'm not really sure why they would send Pelosi anywhere to represent the United States. It makes you kind of think, or sometimes believe, like, who is really running the United States. They're figureheads, Biden's, Harris, and Pelosi. It's just kind of bad, worse than heresy with these three in line. And it's good to know, I talked to a lot of people, that I'm not alone. I actually had a client call this week to the office, and he voted for Biden and Harris, and he leans very left. And he's pretty disgusted with everything. You know, he said that he's just very unhappy and can't believe the stuff that's going on. And, you know, what I found shocking was that, you know, he's like, oh, first a woman vice president, and what a disappointment that is. And again, this is not my words. This is, you know, a person that typically leans pretty left. So in doing some research, you know, all of their approval rates, all three of them, are below 40% at the moment. And it was very interesting, too, because I had another client call me this week to ask me how they should vote on the local primary elections that are taking place on Tuesday, August 23rd. If you are not aware of that, is another primary. I know it's been kind of an interesting year. We usually don't have all these various dates, but because of redistricting and changing of all of these lines for voting, it's just been a mess. But Tuesday, August 23rd is for the congressional and senatorial primaries. So the bottom line there is, if you don't like what's happening, you know, locally or in your country, you know, get out there and vote. I mean, these are really, really important times. And what's interesting, you know, having all of these primaries means that a lot of people are getting out there. We have in the congressional district number 1 is quite a contested election there between what's presumably an outsider and somebody who's you know, somebody who does live here and somebody who doesn't live here but came back, did live here, I don't know, whatever the case may be. So there's a lot going on. The bottom line, I bring this up because everything matters, and the bottom line is that anything that does happen locally or nationally will affect your money. You know, it's just the way it is. I mean, you know, we don't want to put politics and financial together, but it's just part of it. Like I said, 2 calls this week out of all the calls that I had, you know, were about politics and people asking about different things. So the good news is people are interested. The bad news is people don't do their research. I think you really need to remember, it's not voting along party lines, it's voting for the person. You know, just don't pick just because, oh man, I've always voted as a Republican or I've always voted as a Democrat, that I should constantly do that. We find that that's not really happening or not being really successful. And I know a lot of people are kind of, you know, with the elections and everything that's going on, don't get disillusioned. I mean, your votes do count and it does matter. And we just want to get the right people in there to help our wallets. I know, again, it's not too long ago that we got our statements. I mean, even though July was a good month, you know, we still got a lot of stuff to deal with over the next couple of years, I guess you could say. And, you know, and remember that there will never be one candidate that's going to hit every point that's important to you. So vote with your head and not your heart. You are listening to the Financial Chick Show. This is Denise Nostrom, the company, Diversified Financial Solutions. I look for financial solutions when you feel like there are none. Feel free to contact me at 631-758-8691. We're going to be running into a commercial break, so stay tuned. I've got more information on the other side of the break. Thanks for tuning in today.
Two minutes.
Thank you. During the commercial break, we'll get back. I can't believe I forgot my microphone. What a mess. Is this what happens when you take 2 weeks
60
off?
seconds.
Okay, thank you. When you take two weeks off from the show.
Seconds.
Okay. I have my microphone now. Welcome back. This is Denise Nostrom, the Financial Chick, and you are listening to the Financial Chick Show. My company is in Medford, and you can reach me at 631-758-8691 or visit my website at financialchickshow.com. I am here to help you on your financial journey. Over the years, things change, and I'm here to help you navigate all of these changes. So just kind of talking a little bit, just back from vacation, so it had given me time to think, which on a normal basis I really don't get a chance. Very busy with all the things that I do, you know, like all of us, with family and work, and I run a women's nonprofit and a lot of things going on, but I am rested and ready to rumble. So we are in the third quarter of the year already, which I can't believe, so leaving us 5 months left in 2022. So, like I said, I'm doing a lot of thinking. So one thing that came to my mind is these things that make you go, What I find to be really amazing is the fact that this administration is all about changing definitions of very commonly used words. We had the issue with the definition of a woman earlier in the year. The new Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson had a real issue with coming up with the definition of a woman, or what a woman is, during her hearing, but at the same time she is touted by the media and by the television stations that she's the first African American woman to serve as a court justice. Now, I think that's awesome and such an accomplishment for her as a woman and as an African American woman. But why should we be reticent about saying that she is a woman or elevating the fact that she is? My question is, like, where are all the feminists now? I mean, that is kind of an interesting thing. Like, why can't, you can't really have it both ways. You want to be the first, which is wonderful. I mean, I applaud that, running a women's nonprofit organization. I think that's fabulous, but shouldn't we be proud that we're a woman? And again, everybody's got a choice. It's free will, but this whole thing just kind of seems very, very interesting to me. And then what about vaccines? Weren't vaccines created to prevent diseases? Measles, we got our measles shots, we got our mumps shots, we got chicken pox and the shingles and all of these different ailments or diseases that could come. So am I the only one that's confused that, with the whole narrative of the COVID vaccine, that it is just going to lessen the severity? I'm thinking that if we were positioned, when we were younger, our parents were positioned with, okay, so you can get the measles or the mumps shot, but you probably could get it. So we may think twice about doing that, but it just seemed like this particular situation was very, very different. And again, whether it's, whatever, I'm not here to cause controversy, but what I'm here is for us to think, what is exactly going on? Like, why is this happening? All of these different things. And I watch the TV, because I'm back with TV now at home, and every commercial is about vaccines now. There's vaccines for everything. So it's just it just makes you think about the pharmaceutical industry and all of those types of things. And, being a money person, I guess it's really always following the line about the money, right? And whether it's good or bad money, well, I'll let you decide that. So, and then finally, back to my wheelhouse, the word recession. So what is the deal with that? Recession. They basically have changed the definition of that. But what is the real definition? Well, the real definition is a period of temporary economic decline during which trade and industrial activity are reduced, generally identified by a fall in GDP or gross domestic production in 2 successive quarters. That happened. So really, if we want to go by the definition, we are already in a recession. But what the media seems like they're trying to do is protect the administration, to say that, oh, things are good. His press secretary gets up and she actually gets on stage and says that the economy's in great shape. I don't know. I talk to a lot of people on a daily basis and read a lot of material from various outlets and sources. And I see that people are concerned. They're concerned about, margarine. One of my friends just talked about that she got, I guess, a tub of margarine like about 2 weeks ago was $2.19 and now it's $4.49. Stemming back to, they get so excited. Gas is down a couple of cents. But we're up over $2 from a year and a half ago. And there just doesn't seem to be any solutions to making things better. And that's my concern. we need to call it as we see it, because if we say that there's a recession, then there'll be actions to be taken to fix it, right? So that's what I do as a financial advisor. You come to me, we talk about your situation, you tell me what your goals are, or perhaps what your issues are, what your problems are. Well, I can't save money, or I'm having a hard time paying down my debt, or, I'm saving for retirement, but I'm not really sure if I'm doing it the best or most efficient way. So I'll be able to answer those questions. But if you come to me and we sit across the table from each other and we look at each other and we say, man, everything's great, my question to you would be like, well, why are you here? Like, why do you want to talk to me, or what do you want me to do to help you? So it's just interesting, the rhetoric or the discussions that we're having in this country right now, that we're hearing, and people, I'm not going to say all, but some people are believing, that everything is great. And it's an interesting thing. There's another gentleman that I talked to, and he said, things look really great. I mean, people are buying houses at top dollar. They're going out and buying cars at top dollar, way over sticker price. People are vacationing like crazy. They're doing, if you look around, everybody's working on their houses. And again, these are all wonderful things. And I do hope that all of these things are done in good faith. But the concern is that hopefully they're not done on credit. And I'm sure some is. People typically don't buy cars with cash. We can have a whole discussion about that. That could be a whole show. But, all of these things that are happening, if the people are doing it on credit, that really will indicate that we don't really have a solid environment. So a couple of things that are interesting. Well, one, while I was away, which you might have been aware of, on Wednesday, July 27th, the Fed raised rates again by 75 basis points, bringing us to 2.25 as far as the Fed funds target rate. So in many cases, that's good. I mean, if you're looking at, or we're looking at fixed annuities again. So fixed annuities are like souped up CDs, or CDs on steroids. We're getting some decent rates there. They're over 3%, 3.5%, or whatever the case may be. You're getting some money in regular CDs. They have the savings accounts. They really don't move those. They take a long time to go. But on the negative side of this Fed rate hike increase is that if you have credit cards and maybe you had an annual percentage rate of 17%, you better believe that it's going to go up. It's probably going to be 19 or 20. So if you're carrying debt right now, you're going to be paying a whole lot more for it. And if you're really just making ends meet, you're going to have a situation. So this is something, if you're in that, don't just ignore it. I mean, definitely address it. Whether you look for a payment plan, look at maybe doing a bankruptcy, or whatever the case may be, address the situation. Just don't ignore it. The other thing is that if you go for a car loan, you're going to pay higher for rates. If you're going for a home, you're paying the highest prices, and now your mortgage rates are going to be higher too. So there's a lot of underlying things, or things on the periphery that are happening that I hope are good. I mean, again, it's always wonderful. I go around my neighborhood and people are fixing up their homes, and they're looking at, doing their lawns and refacing and resurfacing. That helps all of us in the neighborhood, because that helps to raise all the values of our home. But hopefully they're doing it in the right way. And again, it's only time will tell, of what's going on. But Build Back Better, Inflation Reduction Act, we're hearing all of these different things. And I guess what we need is more information, because from what they're proposing, it doesn't seem like, the words are fabulous, but the action is a much different thing. And I'm just hoping that as we roll through and we get closer to the midterm election, I'm sure we'll see a lot of things, and I will bring you all the news that's fit to print, so to speak, as we go. Because again, it all relates to what the market and the questions that people have for me. What's going on? What's good places to invest? Where should I go? What should I be doing now? So all of those things will be happening. And one other stat that was kind of nerve-wracking to me is that 40% of 3,000 or 13,000 workers surveyed worldwide between February and April of this year are considering quitting their jobs within the next 3 to 6 months. That's not a good sign either. So let's pray. I mean, things are not terrible, but they're not great either. So let's navigate these waters together. I'm here to help. Give me a call. Financial Chick Show, 631-758-8691, or visit my website, financialchickshow.com. So we're going into the weekend, and it's going to be beautiful. I love this hot weather, and Richie, if you're listening, and I know you are, it says it's going to be a bad winter, so I'm going to enjoy my summer already. Have a great weekend, everybody, and be better and do better.
You hit the politics there, huh?
Oh, I hit it. I'm hitting it hard because the stupidity is ridiculous going at this point. But we're still live though. Hold on.
When you were away.
Huh?
You did miss a lot when you
I
were
missed
away.
a lot happened when I was away.
did,
All right,
yeah.
I'm signing off. Look at this hair. This is one of my guys says I
So the mic was over there.
Oh, I know.
So you were talking, and
I
then,
know.
and then
Yeah.
you were just talking.
No, but I had no idea.
Yeah.
I've
And
never
we
done
looked at
that.
you like, what?
I have
What?
never done that,
Never.
ever.